Hey guys, thanks for your interest in becoming a dealer of our flatbeds from your shop. So the way that this works is we have a very predictable and systemized business process for building all of our models of flatbeds from your shop. So we have every model of bed from 1980 to 2021 for all the full-size American brand pickups, which is Dodge, Ford, Chevy, and GMC. Any 3/4 or 1-ton pickup, single rear wheel or dually, we have a bed design for. So the benefit of this is that you're getting a scalable, efficient business system. Unlike custom work that you guys are probably doing out of your shop, where oftentimes you underbid your labor, this is very predictable since the build process is the same regardless of what model you're building, making it very scalable and profitable, and also something that you can easily train employees to do so you can scale even larger. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to run you through the dealer platform here on the screen, and it's going to show you exactly how it works. And then after that, if you like what you see, think it would be something that would be a good fit for your shop, you can schedule a call and talk to one of us in person so we can answer any final questions that you have. So we're going to transition into the screen video, and then after that you can explore and then schedule a call if you're interested. Thanks guys.
Alright, so I'm just going to go through this for you, show you how this thing works. You can watch this whole video and then scroll down and do exactly what I'm doing, what I'm about to show you. So, as you can see here, this is the platform demo. This is going to look exactly the same as the dealer platform that you would get access to if you would buy the license. The only difference is the links on here are not going to be live, and on the real thing they will be. So we got it set up so you can either build flatbeds or headache racks. I'm going to just go through the flatbeds with you. First thing right here is going to be the video tutorial. And this is used as an employee training tool, or can also be used to train yourself. So the way this works is it's completely exhaustive. It includes everything on how to build, wire, and install the flatbed. So you click this little button here, the 3-line play icon, whether you're on your phone or a laptop, and it opens up the 28 different videos here. So these are chronological and they're broken into modules. So you start with nothing at module 1, and then you work through them chronologically, and by the end you have a fully wired and installed flatbed. So you can watch this whole thing on your own time. This is a great way to figure out how the process works. This is going to be a generic video tutorial, and what I mean by that is you can use it to build any model. The build process is the same regardless of model. You're just going to use the blueprints, which I'll go over next, to go over the differences between models. So it doesn't matter what you're building, use the same video tutorial. Next, we're going to scroll down to the blueprints, which is the next section down. So if you click the expand view model list, it drops down a list of the 16 different models. On here, they're all just going to be an example blueprint link, but on the real thing, if you would click on whatever model your customer orders, and it will open the corresponding blueprint. So I'm going to open up this one. It's going to open up a blueprint in a new tab. And as you can see here, this is just an example blueprint. On the real thing, there will be a different blueprint for every model, but they all work the same way, meaning if you understand one, you'll understand all of them. So scroll down to the 4th page, which is going to be the steel material list. So the way that this works is this left-hand column here is the generic steel that you're going to have to purchase and source yourself to build the bed. So it's got the steel type, thickness, all that kind of stuff. This middle column is if you have a trailer, or if you get your steel delivered, breaks it into 20-foot sticks. This right column here is if you don't have a trailer, that breaks it into a maximum of 10-foot sticks so you can fit it in the back of a pickup. So whatever you're doing, just make sure you buy one column, not both, because if you buy both, you'll have double the amount of steel you need. These two sections right here are depending on if you're building a wood or a steel deck bed. So this is set up so you can build either depending on what your customer wants. The video tutorial just goes over how to differentiate if you're doing a wood deck or a steel deck. Basically, you just watch 2 extra video modules for steel decks. Everything else is the same. So if they get a wood deck, you would buy this wood here. It's just lumber. And if they get a steel deck, you buy this additional steel, and it turns the bed into a steel deck bed. This next section down right here is just going to tell you what each type of steel is used for. So this is for if your metal house doesn't have something in stock, or you're just curious to see what makes what, you can look at this and it'll tell you. That's pretty much only been needed the first 2 beds when you're not familiar with the design. This page right here is going to be the table, jig, cut list, and build diagram. So this is the jig that you build every single bed on. So you're only going to have to build this one time, and you build every single bed on top of this same jig thereafter. So the way that this is laid out is that you've got the highlighted part right here. That tells you what video module corresponds to this. So it's going to be like that on every single page. It'll tell you what video module corresponds to what you're doing. And then it'll have the diagram right here. In this case, the jig table shows you piece A, B, C, D, yada, yada, how it's laid out. And then the cut table below it, which is how many you need, the material type, the length, and then the angles that you need to cut in it. Next page down is going to be the same exact layout. It's just going to be the inner frame of the bed, which is the first part of each bed that you build. You build this on top of the jig that we were just looking at. And again, it's got the video module that it corresponds to, the diagram, and then the cut table. And if you scroll through the rest of the blueprints, which you can, it's just going to add another aspect to the bed every time on every page, laid out the same way. So you just kind of work through this chronologically. It's going to have everything you need in terms of measurement specifics for each model, but that is how that works. So the only other thing I would say is when you're first building the beds and you aren't familiar with the process, use the video tutorial as the primary instruction and the blueprint as the supplement. The reason being is the video tutorial does a good job of laying out what order to do things in, so you solid weld everything correctly, do everything so it keeps it square. If you just try and wing it strictly off the blueprint, you're probably going to do something out of order, solid weld something before you're supposed to. And the video tutorial is good about prompting you when to look at your blueprint. So use it as the primary instruction. The next thing down is going to be the cut files or the laser cut parts. So if you have your own CNC table, laser, or water jet, you're going to be using this section, and you're going to be making all of the machine made parts yourself. If you don't have that sort of equipment, you can just buy the laser cut parts from us. So I'm going to go over each of these. So I'll go over the cut files first. You expand this list the same way you did the first one. And here you have the standard build parts for the Singler wheels and also the dually beds. And then this section here is all of the add-ons. So these aren't links right here, but on the real page they will be. These are all going to be DXF cut files that you just instantly download, pop them into your machine, no design required. I'm going to click on SRW just to explain this. So this is just a PNG image file, but on the real thing it will be a DXF. These pieces right here that are all kind of nested in the square on the left side, those are going to be your base model pieces that you use for every single rear wheel bed. They're nested in a 4x4 area, meaning that you can get 2 sets of parts per 4x8 sheet of 3/16, like it says to use right here. These parts over here on the right side, all of those are going to be cut from 12 gauge. Doesn't matter too much the thickness, but cheaper steel is thinner, so we just use 12 gauge for this. Double fuel type is if somebody has diesel exhaust fluid. Single fuel type is just diesel, just gas rigs. And then the headache rack light brackets as well. Those are, you can see those in the photos. So I'm going to go back to the demo page here. The same deal on the dualies. They're just going to take up a 4x6 area since the tail is wider on the dualies, but everything has a maximum dimension of 4 feet, meaning that if you have a 4x4 plasma table or water jet or whatever, that's big enough to do this. So all these, again, if any customer orders an add-on, which 75 to 80% of your customers will, or order some sort of fender kit, toolboxes, a combination of the two, you would just download and cut out the corresponding ones that they would order. I'm going to go ahead and close this. So if you don't have a CNC or laser, this is the way that you're going to do it. You're just going to expand this list, and then this way you just order everything from us. So each of these are a link to a store page. I'm going to click on the single rear wheel parts, and this is just going to be you order them right off the website and we ship them to you. So these are priced in bulk discount, so the select unit quantity right here, you can see the more you order, the cheaper they are per unit. So if you get 10, they're significantly cheaper if you get 1, and there's a couple tiers in the middle. This price also includes shipping, so the price you see is price delivered. So they'll have the dually parts and then all the add-ons as well. If you need to order those, just check out right on the website. This section is the required components, which is the lights and the mud flaps. These are the only 2 things we require dealers to source from us for consistency and quality reasons. These are all lifetime warranty lights, and these are really good quality mud flaps. We get both of these things in massive bulk straight from the factory, so we give you a super good deal on them. So the way that these work, same way. If you click on these, they're going to be bulk discounted as well. So the lighting package, for example, the more you order, the cheaper they are. You can see in the quantity option menu. This is going to have everything you need in per flatbed format. So if you order the lighting package, you're not going to need anything else. It's going to have everything you need to wire a bed, including lights, grommets, wires, resistors, everything. So that's how that works. Mud flaps, same thing. You get the mud flaps and the ddfab.co tags. More you order, the cheaper they are. So that's the way that those work as well. Same for single rear wheel and dually, same set of mud flaps. So this bottom half is just the same setup for headache racks. Like if somebody wants a standalone headache racks, we don't build a lot of these in our shop just because there's a lot more money in beds. But if you want to, you can. It's got the same setup, video tutorial, the blueprints. You can either order the machine-made parts or cut them yourself, and then any other parts that you may need. So That's how this works as far as logistically on how you download each blueprint, all the cut files, and then the video tutorial. And with those 3 tools, you'll be able to build every single model of our bed. So the other thing I want to go over is that we let dealers set their own price. So the way that that works is you use this tool that's called the Determine Selling Prices link. It's right below the Headache Rack button. I'm at the top of the dealer page. If you click this, it opens up an Excel sheet. So what you do here is you work through this for all of your local costs, and it's going to tell you exactly what to sell the base unit installed for and also all of the add-ons. So this has the steel section, the labor section, the finish section for powder coat or paint, whatever you're going to do there, and then all the lights and wiring and install equipment. So what you do here is you work through this line by line, enter your local costs in a price per foot format, and also your labor cost for whether it's just you. If it's just you, enter your consumables burn rate per hour. And if you have employees, enter your consumables burn rate plus what it takes to pay them and insurance and all that sort of thing. So as you work through these, you're going to be able to just it's going to automatically up this line right here. It's pre-formulated, so as you start punching in numbers, it's going to automatically change it. You can also toggle the profit margin, this yellow cell, up or down depending on what you want to make. We recommend 35% if you got employees and 50% if you're self-employed, because you're going to be paying yourself out of that margin. So the other thing is these add-ons down here in the bottom section laid out the same way. You enter all your costs, it'll tell you your profit margin and what you need to sell it for, and you can adjust that as needed. So the way you do this is you download it with this button right here in the top right corner. Just download it and then open it in Excel or Google Sheets, and then you'll just be able to edit this with your situation and figure out exactly how much you're going to be selling them for, how much you're going to be making in terms of profit per bed, and that's how that works. Pretty simple. So in terms of what we're charging for this, we're charging $3,900 as an upstart fee and then $499 per year to keep your license. So what comes with that besides all of the tools that I just went over is we add you to the dealer network. So the way that this works is those mud flaps that we require to use, and also we require to use our logo in the tail, is this is a web address, ddfab.co. That is our website. So if you're building beds and people see the mud flaps or the logo driving around town, they're going to type in the website. They're going to go to ddfab.co, and when they do, these mud flap tags that you've built are going to click Find a Dealer. We would add you to this dealer network, and you would just be listed here with your business name and phone number, and they would just call you, and then you would build and install the bed out of your shop. So that's also the other benefit it comes with. The other thing is that we basically have 4 rules that if you follow the 4 rules, you're good. And these are covered in depth in the licensing agreement right here. Top of the demo page, right below the Headache Rack button, you can read through the whole licensing agreement. But basically the rules are, number 1, you got to build 6 beds per year. So that's 1 every 2 months. Rule number 2 is you got to use our provided lights and mud flaps that we already went over. That's also the way that we track how many you're building per year. So we should be able to look up your account and see that you've purchased 6 lighting packages and 6 sets of mud flaps in the last 365 days. That's how we know you're meeting your quota. Rule number 3 is you got to leave the logo in our tails and also in the mud flaps. So the reason for that is, number 1, it gives our brand some awareness, but it also helps you out because it's a form of marketing, drives people to the website, and they're going to call you and have you build the bed anyway. The 4th rule, which is a little more softly enforced, is that you got to build the designs as intended. So the way that that is enforced is basically you have to build the base model the same, and then anything that the customer wants to add on top of that is totally fine. So here's a good example, this 2014 Ford right here. This is pretty much a base model plus toolboxes, and it has a little step right here in front of the tire. So as long as you build the base model the same, anything else that the customer wants to add on top of that, bail fork, custom bed rails, American flag in the headache rack, a Gatling gun on top, any of that sort of stuff is completely fair game and actually encouraged because it will give you an edge over the production beds of people of what and allow people to customize. So that's the 4 rules, how those are enforced. I'm going to cut back here and explain the rest of this and next steps if you're interested. But thanks for watching this video, guys.
I hope you guys found that video helpful on how the dealer platform is going to work in real time. So go ahead and just scroll down and play with everything that we just went over in that video. And if you're interested and think this would be something that would be good for your shop, just hit the schedule a call button. It's going to be orange, and you can schedule a call that's convenient for you, and we'll talk to you in person, answer any final questions you may have, and give you the option to become a dealer. Thanks for watching, guys.